ahead and start collecting signatures because the city council had not heard, okay, which one was gonna be the option. Okay, so it was impossible to go ahead and collect signatures, okay, so that the city council would be able to discuss it and approve it or reject it.
Then it should not have been
It
approved.
is-
right.
It is a process that has been done for decades.
No, it hasn't. That's the point. It hasn't been.
It has.
No, it's the process. The process has happened. It just hasn't happened at this park, in this residential area. That's the difference.
That is the difference, exactly. You're right.
You need to find someplace else that can hold this, and not for nothing, that's a small park. That's a small park. We're talking 85 to 90% are Hispanic that are gonna go there in this city. That's a lot of people in that little tiny park.
Thousands of people there.
Are you, is there any, let me ask a question.
Okay?
The Hispanic community participate in the Three Saints.
Yes, I
The
know.
Hispanic community participates in the Irish
Right, but
Parade.
we're all down
The
Common
Hispanic-
Street,
may I-
Essex Street.
may I-
We have a large
The
area
Hispanic
nobody
community
notices.
participates on the bread and roses.
Right?
Okay, we are not afraid.
Okay, but you were talking about race, Modesto. I am not talking about race. I am telling you that your park is so big. No, Modesto, nobody said anything about race. This is the point. This area is primarily Hispanic, which means everyone wants to.
Can we hear from the chief just so we can hear what
Everybody wants to celebrate their heritage. I get that. But the thousands of people that will show up in that tiny little spot is just too congested, is what I'm saying. I have nothing against anybody. I have nothing against any race. You were the one that just stated that we have two Lawrences. Two Lawrences. You're the one that stated that. Nobody else here did. You did that.
Okay,
You're the one that's racist.
all right. I think you made your point. Thank you. Just setting aside some of the procedural issues for a second, I just want to address some of the public safety concerns that people brought up. And I mean, really, I want to set aside that because this is an if it does happen in the park, we will, the people that run the carnival do hire police details for security. It's historically, I don't want to confuse the two different events. Historically, the carnival has been very quiet. Even the Semana de Hispana has been very quiet. Now, most of the issues happen outside the park. Along those lines, I can increase patrols during the event. Just to, and again, this is if in fact it does go on the South Pond. I'm not gonna get involved in any procedural city council issues, that's amongst them. But I just wanna ensure that, and let you know you have the confidence in us, the Lawrence Police Department, in providing public safety, and trying to make this, if this event does happen, try to make it as smooth as possible. Again, every event in the city puts a strain on its infrastructure. Parades, the Feast of the Three Saints, they close streets down for several days. And again, it'll put some stress on your parking, some of your traffic. But again, it's not a heavily attended event. It's usually a pretty quiet event. Again, I know there's going to be some people who disagree with me in this event, but in this particular issue. But let me ensure that if it does put an impact, or if it's a big impact on the neighborhood, we will provide more police to ensure that it's as smooth as possible.
I think one of the main concerns, or one of the big concerns I feel is the parking, where are people?
Yeah, the parking, again, it's none of the, again, it's a fluid situation because the parks, it's been adjusted. Again, if it does happen, I'm sure the event organizers will be able to work with us. If there's some parking issues, maybe we can find some overflow parking. Maybe talk to the MVRTA about some shuttles.
And who's going to pay for that?
This is something that we'll work with the.
This is a lot of money that we are going to have to put out as taxpayers. If it comes down to the city has to pay for it, it comes out of us taxpayers.
I don't know, have you attended the carnival before?
Excuse
Have
me?
you attended the carnival?
I've attended every carnival around here.
Yeah, so it's not-
So,
you've been
but
there,
I can
it's-
tell you that they're heavily heavily attended, not lightly attended.
Do our tax dollars pay for it? You know that for a fact? Because our tax dollars didn't pay for the parade, it doesn't pay for the.
Right, what I'm saying is,
No,
if
the
they're gonna do the
details paid
busing,
by the
who is
town
gonna pay for that? This is already a fundraiser to get them money. Why are they gonna spend more money that they don't have?
Why do you care about that? This is about safety. This is what this is about.
It's
You're
more-
turning it into this big ball yarn that doesn't need to be. It's majority safety.
Okay, so again, it has to do with the parking and the safety and that, so how do you not see that that entwines?
Okay, all right. Let me take, excuse me. Let me
Okay,
take-
when I play my video back, I'm also gonna see how far your head goes up.
Chief, I appreciate it. My name is Jorge Hernandez. I live on 21 Lincolnsville Street, so I don't live here in the neighborhood. But I'm the principal of Lawrence Catholic Academy just down the road. So if you don't mind, Chief, if I could just direct a question to Ms. Melendez.
Yes, sir.
I had a question, Ms. Melendez, with regards to the time of setup. So I know that operation starts at 6 o'clock, which wouldn't affect school hours. And I'm happy that Ms. Guerrero is here, so I'll follow up with you definitely afterwards.
Oh, no.
But just so that I have an understanding, just so that I can maybe advise our families if there is any potential impact on traffic or when the setup would start, prior to the start of the event. I imagine that they would start putting everything together like a couple days before. So just because it's never happened here locally, I'm not familiar with the process that would typically happen at the North Department. So if you could just give me that information, just so that then I pass it on to our community, I would appreciate it.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Jorge Hernandez.
Jorge Hernandez, Mr. Hernandez. Yes, there is a letter that's gonna be distributed in the neighborhood. This is a one-time thing, okay? We're not saying we're moving the carnival over here permanently. It's a one-time thing, okay? Like I said, we live in a beautiful city. I was born in this city, okay? 6 square miles. We're very limited as to space. But again, at the same time, we have to provide activities for our families. And like Mary said, a lot of families go to these carnivals. You see a lot of baby carriages. You see a lot of toddlers. You see a lot of teenagers. Yes, a lot of our families attend these events. It's a one-time thing. We have a letter that will be going out to the residents. Setup will start Monday morning. It will go through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. On Wednesday, inspectors come in and they inspect all the rides for safety issues, okay? During that set of time, you don't have the music, you don't have, the sounds that can carry out into your homes. What they're gonna be doing is setting up. The music will start Thursday at 6 o'clock. And again, it will be shut down at 9 o'clock, run the rides for another hour, and then start cleaning the people out. Mr. Flynn is very dedicated. He has been a part of this event, of this organization for many, many years. He knows, okay? He invests a lot of money. He puts down liability insurance for the parks when we set up in the different parks, wherever we set up. He puts money into cleanup details. And let me tell you, he hires local people. There are people in our community who don't have jobs that for a few days can come and work and make some money for their families, okay? He puts money into police details. So we do have all these issues covered. And again, it's like the chief says, if there are issues that arise, we can solve them if we communicate with each other, okay? If we communicate with each other, Mr. Flynn will have an office. If there is an issue, we can address it. We can go to him and we can try to solve it. Back and forth, any event in the city will impact somebody. The Italian feast is at the door of an elderly complex. People are elders in our community, yet it goes on every year. It's only for a few days. And I'd be surprised if you didn't go in there. Yes, you're gonna find a few cranky folks who say, I hate the music, I hate the crowds. But you're gonna find some people who live in that building who say, hurrah, because there is entertainment in their community, there are people walking around, there are families enjoying these events. Folks, I know it's hard. St. Patrick's Day parade, I had a doctor's appointment